Good afternoon. I expect we probably will have some people trickle in and maybe out. And I think we have 30 or a little
It's
more
growing like every second.
online. So I think everyone continues to be used to the online town hall. I did want to say that we are experimenting today with the in-ceiling microphones. So allegedly, everything that gets said in here will be heard crystal clear on Zoom. So if you want to mock anything about me, go ahead. Just know there's some people in cyberspace that even if I can't hear you, they probably will be able to. So in any case, thank you for coming to this. Some of you who've been here for a while will remember that prior to the pandemic, President Kuhn would host in-person town halls. And then with the pandemic, it all went exclusively online. And then it just sort of stayed that way. And interestingly enough, I think more people attended during the pandemic than had been attending in person prior. But thought, well, now we have the capacity to do both. So why not have this be available to people on Zoom, but also a chance for us to come together in person if we're able to, which hopefully we'll be able to continue as we move forward. A couple of weeks ago, hosted one of these at IVC. I think we had about. Oh, is it not working?
It does for these guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, hosted one at IVC. I think we had about 30 people there for that, so it was a great turnout. And the plan today is to give a few updates, answer a few questions that came in, and then just open it up as well for anything that anyone here or online would like to talk about. But I thought we could start, and I'm not seeing too many people who are at the IVC town hall, because the people there, I shared some College of Marine trivia. And I then said, well, I don't think I have time to make up new trivia questions for the second town hall. So if you were there and you know the answers to these, just wait a minute, and then you can be the smart person who guesses if no one else knows the answer. So given that it's a centennial, let's start with some College of Marine trivia. Similar to convocation, although I don't have slides that go with these. But I'm curious, does anyone here know who the very first graduate of College of Marine was? Back in 1927. Is that?
George.
In 1927, Stanley Moore. Stanley Moore was the first graduate of College of Marin. And then the following year, there were, I think, 50 additional students who graduated. But he was the very first one, completed his coursework in a year. Does anyone know the original name of this College of Marin student newspaper?
I should know that because we digitized them all. Shoot. Oh, it had about six different. It's had about six different names.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Stanley Moore was actually the editor of the student newspaper that started along the way during the first year of the college.
Okay, for some of the time it was known as the Echo. For some of the time it was known as the Tower Times. And so no, okay, all right. I'm cheating a little bit here.
Echo Times was the last name.
Yeah.
Still, I think about a dozen years or so ago.
I don't suppose it was called the Mariner.
It was.
All right.
Turn it around now for a while. Yeah. So the Mariner was the original student newspaper. Does anyone know the first permanent building that was built on this campus back in 1930?
Berlin Wall.
Nope.
Fusselman.
No, Fusselman wasn't built till 36. So 1930, the first building. Remember, there was a house over where the Performing Arts Plaza is, the Butler House, and was what was originally used to teach the first few years of students. And then along with the barn, which was also used. But a science building was built for $27,000 in 1930. And then, of course, that is long gone. But that was the first permanent building built on the college campus. Also in 1930, does anyone know what the very first drama production was? Dave, you didn't read about that in one of the
Because I learn things and then I forget them.
That's my problem too.
Yeah.
Queen's Husband was put on in 1930. It was the very first drama production. It was about a very strong queen with a very meek husband, the king, who tried to assert himself in a fictitious kingdom in Europe. Does anyone know when the name of the college changed from Marin Junior College to College of Marin? What year?
1946.
Close. 1948. Jesse, you got it. Happy I can see one.
But you're right, yeah.
But by the way in which she answered that, I'm pretty sure she had forgotten the.
That's true.
Anyway, that's some additional trivia. What's interesting is there was a sign, a wooden sign that said Marin Junior College on it, and it was held up between two rocks. I don't remember exactly where on campus. And there was a big ceremony with a big saw, and the president and the student body president and some faculty made a show of cutting that sign in half and taking it away. I mean, I don't know why they had to destroy it, and putting up the College of Marin sign. So that happened in 1948. Anyway, good job on the trivia, and now you know a few more things. So when you go to all of those cocktail parties and you want to seem smart, don't use these answers. So I wanted to let everyone know, I sent out an email earlier today with some upcoming centennial events. Hopefully everyone will plan on attending all of those. Really excited that our Classic Films Club, the students with that club, they've started showing their monthly films in here. They watched Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid, and Double Indemnity. They have others coming up. But at the Lark Theater in Larkspur, we've rented out the whole thing, and we'll be showing the Marx Brothers college campus extravaganza, Horse Feathers. And then also there will be one of Laurel and Hardy's first short films, which coincidentally was made in 1927 and called The Second 100 Years. So, and we will have someone associated with music department actually playing the piano live because it is a silent film. So that's on the 26th of March, and then shortly thereafter will be the Founders Day Spring Fling. Most of you know that every year in the fall we have It's Fall Y'all, and in the spring we have Spring Fling. Great opportunity for learning communities and others to promote what they're doing, have fun activities. This spring on Founders Day, Monday, April 6th, we will have 7 food trucks come to campus scattered around. We will have magician, we'll have fun and games, we'll have birthday cake for the college. We will announce the winner of the ideation challenge. We'll have the final items on display that will go into the time capsule, all kinds of fun things to celebrate 100 years of the college. And then of course, the first week of May will be the showcase, the academic showcase here. So poster sessions, I think Fernando will be, and his students will be giving a talk on the monarch butterfly habitat that I can see out the window there, and all the work and the research they've done on that. We'll be having presentations, performances, artwork, variety of things going on that week to really showcase all the amazing things that happen at our college campuses. And we, of course, will be inviting the public in to see all of that great stuff. So those are some of the centennial things upcoming. And now, want to turn our attention to being sure that we answer a few of the questions. And then I've got a few more updates to give as well. So we had 3 questions come in, and I answered these questions at the IBC town hall as well. We may have others that come in online, and then we'll also open it up if any of you have questions as well. So one question was, what's the latest on acquiring the 2 houses next to lot 16, and will this parking lot be expanded? For those of you who can't quite place that on a map, lot 16 is the one across Laurel Avenue, off of Sir Francis Drake. We actually, several years ago, did acquire the 2 fairly dilapidated homes just down the street from that. And so those are in the process. I think the final work is being done to get approval to raise those homes. And then at that point in time, we will have to come up with an actual plan that would involve probably expanding the parking lot and regrading it, making it much more useful. Another question is, ESL currently does only in-person learning. Enrollment has dropped in recent months. ESL departments and other California community colleges offer online classes. How can we create online ESL classes at College Marin? And of course, that's really a faculty question because each department has to assess how they want to support online learning versus in-person learning. And for ESL, I would say that we just have to make sure that we look at what all of the data points tell us. We shouldn't just start with an assumption that if our enrollment in ESL has gone down, that it must be because students either want or need online education. During the pandemic, we had 800 some ESL students, non-credit ESL students. This last semester, we had nearly 2,000. Now, while we're down to about just under 1,900, that drop, well, it is a drop, still shows that we've got well over double the number of students who were taking ESL with us just a few years ago. So one of the questions we have to ask is, well, does this have to do with national politics and safety? Does this have to do with the fact that we've sort of hit a plateau in terms of the overall demand in the county? Have we done such a good job of getting students English language acquisition that they're starting to move on to other things? We need answers to those questions to make sure that we understand why we might be seeing a bit of a drop in non-credit ESL attendance. We also don't know whether that is a trend because last semester was our highest ever. This semester is slightly lower than that. But what will next semester bring? That's another key data point as well. But for any academic department, there are discussions that have to be had, and ultimately faculty need to go through the peer online course review, did I get that right? Or POCR process individually, and then the coursework needs to as well, because we want to make sure that, and Stacy Lintz here will be the first, I'm sure, to say it, that teaching online can be very different than teaching in person, and we want to make sure that both the faculty and the coursework have been reviewed to make sure that it will be accessible to students, that students will be able to be successful with it. And it is a very different enterprise. I know that my wife teaches both in person and online, and she says teaching online, it might be more convenient at times, but it's definitely harder, and it's harder to help students be successful and get out of that what you really want them to. So those are departmental conversations to have. Very long answer to that question. Then the other question is the College of Marin still committed to equity? And I would just remind everyone that our mission is to provide equitable opportunities and foster success for all members of our diverse community. So our mission is about equity, our mission is about inclusion, and our mission is about the diversity of the population that we serve. So we cannot exist as an institution if we aren't committed to equity. We have gone further, as many of you know, to define equity to mean recognizing those historical and systemic disparities in both opportunity and outcome, and then putting resources to address those disparities. And I think that if you look at the way in which we operate, the things that we fund, the efforts that we make, from professional learning and professional development to learning communities, to our outreach, to local organizations and K-12, we put a lot of effort into addressing those historic disparities that are seen in Marin County, and 85+% of our students come from Marin, to address the disparities that have been in place for generations. And at the K-12 level, those disparities are still stark. If you are first generation low income student of color, you stand about a 40% chance of completing the A to G curriculum in Marin schools. And that's that curriculum that is your ticket directly into a CSU or a UC in terms of just eligibility for application. A lot of those students who don't complete the A to G are still pursuing higher education. And we are the only public higher education in Marin, which means they're coming to us. Now, the fact that we then have the highest UC transfer acceptance rate in all of Northern California, given that our population is made up disproportionately of those students who were left behind in the K-12 system is something that everyone in this room and everyone online and everyone here should be very proud of. That doesn't happen if we don't have a commitment to equity and intentionally try to ameliorate those disparities. And this is not a knock on our K-12 system. There's a lot of really hardworking educators out there who are also battling the systems in place that have built up over generations. And I think the unfortunate reality in the United States is that education still was designed to serve some people much better, and it was designed to not serve intentionally others. And so we have to keep working to break that down. So for all the work we do, there's a lot more work we can do and need to do, and that I know all of you are committed to doing on a daily basis. So another very long answer to the question, is College of Marin still committed to equity? The short answer is, of course, yes. Any follow-ups to any of those questions? Those three questions? Anyone have any follow-up questions to them or tangents from them that they would like to ask about or talk about? Okay. So before we get to any other questions you may have, I did want to say there are a couple of other things happening. Later this week, our human resources folks have done a great job of putting together Employee Appreciation Day this Friday. Hopefully you'll all come to one or both of the campuses. I think we're doing a bunch of fun activities up at IBC in the morning. There'll be breakfast and snacks, diagnostic biometric screenings, nature walks, prizes. And then here at Kentfield in the afternoon, there's a wellness fair, a picnic, massage chairs. I've been feeling the need for some of that. There'll be some emergency preparedness, Team Olympics, prizes, music, other things. So a way for us to say on the National Employee Appreciation Day that we appreciate all of the employees that make our college such a special place. And all of that is free. Okay. Now, in addition to that, I also want to note that I am working hard to rehab from the last pickleball with the president. And Lorraine Russell, our men's basketball coach, kinesiology instructor, he told me as we planned this that the one rule of pickleball was, since it's pickleball with the president, you have to be out there and play every minute that's going on. And I have to say I was worn out because everyone else got to sort of sit out a match and then come back. But it was good. It built character. So we're doing it again, and we're going to do it on Wednesday, the 22nd of April during college hour. And we'll do that back down here at the Kentfield tennis courts again. We'll send out a registration link so we get a sense of who has their own equipment and who has different levels of proficiency at pickleball so that I can better map out how I will be upright after. We also have a number of retirees this year, more than usual. We did do an incentive program to help some folks make that financial decision. And because we had a lot of inquiries into whether or not the college would be supporting that, we did. I think we ended up with 17 or so classified folks. We ended up with another 10 or so faculty, I think, part-time and full-time. And so since we have such a large group of folks, we're going to actually have a retiree recognition reception. And more will be coming out about this, but mark your calendars for Wednesday, the 13th of May in this room at 4 o'clock. And we will be honoring and celebrating all those folks and their hundreds and hundreds of collective years of service to the college. And I know that I've also talked with a number of them about how they can stay engaged at the college even as they go off on their next chapter. So those are three things that are also upcoming shortly. And then, of course, I really hope that everyone reviews on a weekly basis the email that Nicole Cruz sends out with all the upcoming events. There's so many great things going on. I know that I can't make to all of them. I always wish that I could, but please do review that and try to make it to as much as you can. There are a lot of student groups and others doing amazing work and having lots of fun, and take some time to participate in that. Helps remind all of us why we're here and the importance of the work we do. So with that, I want to pause and ask, are there any particular questions? Anything on anyone's mind, either in the room or online, that you'd like to make sure we talk about? anything at all. I asked a question of Andy earlier and found out he's friends with Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger. Who knew? A little curiosity goes a long way. Yes, hand over here. Yep.
Dr. Eldridge, I just would like to take a moment to welcome our new Director of Information Technology, Stephanie Cannon.
Oh. Right up here in the front row. Welcome, day one, hour 4. Run.
Have another day one employee
Yeah, excellent.
Yes.
Sarah?
in the library is a new library technician.
Hello.
Rowan.
Yeah.
Two employees who've started, 3 employees.
Nopakan.
Hi.
She's our temporary research and planning analyst.
Wonderful.
Now I'm a club. The Monday, March 2nd club. So you'll have to get to know each other and lean on each other as you can all ask, is it weird, or why is it that college or Marin does it this way or that way? Welcome, glad you're here. And by all means, as you get on board and figure out the place, if you have feedback on how we can do that better, let us know. So okay, so those are some great introductions. Questions? Any topic at all?
I'd like to hear you reflect on the new building.
Well, yeah, the big building. The Center for Student Success. It's interesting because we had well over 5, I think close to 700 people at the grand opening, and gave out all of the prizes and the swag and the food and everything else. And I have to say that I can't go anywhere in the county without someone coming up to me and talking about the beautiful new building. And half the time, someone will say that, and I'll say, well, have you been inside? And they're like, no. Wait till you get inside. This really is, I think, a remarkable space in many ways. A lot of you know that it's been years in the making. And the idea was that we wanted to have a place where students could be almost within sight of all of the things they really need to be successful, all those educational supports. I was walking into the building last week and I wandered around. I think every study space had multiple students in it. They were actively engaged in discussion and writing things on the board and projecting on the screens. Just about every seat in the library was taken. One of the reflections I have is that when you move from the reference desk and you walk to the back of the library, it gets just naturally quieter and quieter and quieter and silent. And it's fascinating to see how all that plays out. But students busy at work. Obviously, there are students out here all the time. I think every learning community must have had 15 or more students in it, engaged in a variety of things. The tutoring center was overflowing like it's designed to do out into that common area. And so it was just to see that happening is phenomenal. I think the community really likes this building as well. I think they're very appreciative that it didn't wall off College Avenue any further, that it invites people into the campus, that there's another resource here for them in terms of the library and a cup of coffee along the way. And so I think overall things are very positive in terms of the feedback. That said, I know that Dr. Emerson here has been telling everyone, take notes on what we need to work on and fix and plan for and put into place for procedures. This spring semester really is, action research. How's the building working? What parts of it are working the way we thought it would? And what parts maybe aren't? And how can we make adjustments as we go into fall semester? I know that I've heard from the folks upstairs that they love that they can control the blinds going up and down, but they wish that they didn't all either go up or all go down. Maybe we can fix that, right? So little things to bigger things. But I think initially, everyone who's used this space, some community folks and others have really appreciated having a large room like this. Seems like AC 255 turned into our de facto meeting space. And for some things it worked great. For others, not quite so much. So to have an additional space. I heard someone call this the Jonas of Kentfield or Jonas Center Light. But I think this room will get lots of great use in the coming years as well. Those are some initial reflections that I had, including students just coming up to me and saying thank you for the building. I said, well, I didn't build it, so but yes, we're happy to have you be able to use it. Some students have said they feel like they're in a UC having this facility, and others have said that they wish they weren't transferring as soon as they were transfer and come back. In fact, one student told me that she's transferring to Cal, but that she's going to, because she lives here in Marin, is going to be studying here. So I said, well, that's great. You're welcome to do that. But I'd be curious about any other reflections anyone has on the new building.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, maybe I'm not aware. Is there a parking spot or a couple of parking spots open for general visitors that's free of cost perhaps for an hour or something, so that is inviting public to come into the space?
Good question about parking in terms of coming into this space. That isn't something that exists now, but on the other hand, it's, we will be having some parking changes. That is one thing that I can give you an update on. So in the coming months, we will be starting to remove the portable buildings from the campus. It will take the better part of a year plus to get the last ones out, because we also have work to do in DD Hall. So we're going to be starting later this spring and through the summer. We'll be creating a couple of multi-purpose classrooms. We'll be creating some particular space for the communication department and their film and media production, and some other modifications to the building so that there, are offices for the academic senate, for UPM, some conference rooms and other things in that building. And we need to get that work done before we can get all of the portables out. But we're starting to move the portables out this spring. The health center portable being one of the first to go. The idea is that we will not have portables in lot 6, but instead be able to add back in a significant amount of parking. Sheriff's office takes up some, the portables themselves take up some. That is a location we're looking at to potentially add some EV chargers as well, so they're not all located down across the street. We also will be getting rid of all of the really dilapidated portables down at Village Square, down past athletics. We may take a couple of the better conditioned ones here to put down there just as swing space. So we wouldn't be having classes in them on an ongoing basis, but we would maintain them in case we had some sort of emergency or had to temporarily house folks for something. But we will gain some parking down there then as well. We'll be then removing the ones from Circle Drive, which is what the neighbors really want us to do. They consider them an eyesore, and I agree with them. And at that point in time, we also have some opportunity to determine how do we want the parking along Circle Drive to exist, and do we want to add some EV charging there as well, so that we could have, throughout the campus, located different charging. So those are things we'll be considering as we get to the point of removing those. And then, of course, these in the center of campus will also go away. Don't have an exact time frame on that, but then we need to decide what happens with that space. Short term, longer term. There have been lots of ideas that have come about. Perhaps it could be a Zen garden. It could be an outdoor classroom. One student is adamant that we should put a trampoline out there. We can do lots of things. If you go into the library, you'll see the original watercolor for the campus plan for Marin Union Junior College. And in it, it shows that the center of campus is largely open with an unobstructed view out to Mount Tam. Whether or not we want to create something along the lines of what's in the original plan or go in a different direction altogether will require a lot of discussion. But it's exciting to have the opportunity and to be here at a time where we can have those discussions and weigh in on those things. So there's more to come on all of that. But certainly, we will be gaining parking back, including all of lot 15 has been on Kent Avenue has been closed off because that's where we staged the construction here. So parts of that will start opening, and we will be having more parking available. Of course.
Immediately, there are 40-minute spots on the street out across College Avenue. So if you want a friend to stop by and meet you at Pink Owl, they can just park right there.
They just have to be back in 40 minutes. Yeah, that's a good point. I would say that, you know, from an environmental standpoint, we also want to balance how much more parking do we allow versus how much do we continue to encourage people to find alternative forms of transportation. So we are in discussion with the county about being a site for e-bikes that would help connect folks from Larkspur Landing and the train to here, and then perhaps, you know, what they really want to do is have there be a corridor from San Anselmo or even beyond to the train. And the way Marin County is set up, public transit isn't always the most convenient. People talk about that last mile, but in Marin, it's really more like that last 2 or 3 miles, which makes it difficult. And so we will be part of discussions with the county about the Sir Francis Drake corridor and things that can happen along the corridor to improve transportation, improve accessibility, and also be environmentally responsible. So those conversations will gear up as we head into the second half of 2026 and beyond. In fact, we'll be hosting some of those discussions right here in this room. So that's an update on some of the additional facilities things beyond you know, this building. This building is the last major project, but at the same time, there's a lot more that needs to happen to sort of get this campus put back in place. At IVC, there are discussions now underway about building 12, which used to house childcare and is now designed to be a mini student center there. Our hope is that we will be able to put something that looks almost identical to the cafe in that space, so we can actually have food service at IVC, as well as some meeting spaces and study spaces and other things. That then would connect out to the campus green between there and Miwok, and there's some work to try to upgrade that as well. And then the county has built into its budget funds to, and we have the plans in place now, to renovate Building 17 and turn that into housing for fire recruits and seasonal fire recruits. So that project will go on as well. That is not a bond project. That's the county's money for that, but we will be upgrading Building 12. And then we're about at the end of Measure B. And we're largely built out. And then we have to really get into the work over the next number of years with the board taking the lead on what our next facilities, landscape, environmental plan looks like. What does the college need to do over the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to ensure now that we can maintain all of our beautiful buildings, make sure that they are updated as we go, and what will that look like? So how can we reduce our greenhouse gas emissions when we need to replace systems? We're very fortunate that we have a bunch of solar, we have geothermal, but all those systems have a life. And so as those systems start getting to the point where they've got another decade left in them, we need to plan now as to what will it take to not just replace them and keep them going, but what's the next generation? What can we do that's even better? And what will that look like? Lots of possibilities out there, including some things that probably don't exist yet in terms of energy and technology and otherwise. But that will be an exciting thing that all of us can weigh in on at some point or another over the next 3 or 4 years as we head toward our new plans in those areas as well. So I know the board's very excited to start those discussions as we wind down the Measure B program. And what comes next is, like I said, it's an exciting time to be here because we're fortunate to have all that we do. And yet we also are in a position, because we have that, that we can think ahead and think about, you know, what will come after all of us join the ranks of retirees and otherwise. Yes.
In regards to when will there be updates
yeah.
to GD Hall? If
Right, well, and I touched on that a few minutes ago, but later this spring, we will start some renovations in DD Hall. We're in the process now of working with Alton Construction to get a cost estimate as to what it will take to take down a few walls, put up a few walls, replace some carpet, paint, fix some of the systems in the building that needs to be fixed, et cetera, and finalize who will go where. We already have the business faculty over there, the OIM folks will be moving in, and a number of others. So the moves to get folks out of portables and to make sure we've got good spaces, all of that is now ramping up now that this building is open. So probably between now and this time next year, we'll be doing work in DD Hall, not a full renovation, but enough to make it so that it's a really good space for the folks who are in it, and some additional classroom space. So we have a little elbow room in that regard. And that'll probably be about a year's worth of work from start to finish. So, yes.
Any updates on the pool at Kentfield, when it will be ready for public?
Actually, I think Vice President Pooch has an update on that.
Thank you, Lisa. Hi, everyone. Well, I'm preparing to provide a more comprehensive, if not high-level update on the Kentfield pool renovations. We received latest updates on Friday morning. A lot of it a result and impact of our weather in the past few weeks. And so I'll have more. I'm getting more accurate and clear information from Gilbane and others that I'll be able to share with our community and with the board.
But it's still sometime later this spring is when the primary construction will be done. We just don't yet know because of some of the weather delays. I would also say too that there's a difference with a pool between the construction being done and when it can actually be used, because then you have to fill it with water, you have to get it to the right temp, you have to put the chemicals in, you have to test it, you have to maintain it, do all of those things for a period of time. And I don't think we know yet how long that might take either. So the good news is that we're nearing the end of that project. Also, at the end of March, we will remove here's a question for you. How many of you attended the men's basketball playoff game last week? I have never seen that gym as raucous as it was. That was a phenomenal atmosphere, packed full of really excited people from the community and students and others. And unfortunately, the result wasn't in the Mariners' favor, but it was a really exciting game all the way through. But if you were there, you know just firsthand recent experience of how uncomfortable those bleachers are. They also are quite old. They've outlived their life expectancy. So at the end of March, those will be torn out, and then there'll be a project to put in new bleachers that are, I think, have better ADA accessibility. So that project is also in the process of happening.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Recently, I brought a friend who used to go to Jamestown Theatre. She said for an hour and a half, it's so uncomfortable to sit on the chairs. So is there any plan to make it more comfortable for the viewers?
Okay, so the question is about the comfort of the seats in the Jamestown Theatre. I was going to say, well, go sit in the bleachers for a while. Probably not the best response there. So I do know that I was going to say, we recently reupholstered the chairs, but I think all of a sudden that was about a decade ago when that happened. I think that it's been quite a while. That's a good question. I think we can certainly look into that and see what the schedule is. I'm not sure where they are in their expected lifespan. But we can certainly look into that. Yeah, I don't think we'll be going to what all the movie theaters have gone to with the lounge. But yeah,
The warmers.
Yeah.
or depending on the time of year, the coolers.
Yeah.
Thanks. Maybe we can go with a material where there could be a cup holder. People will be allowed to take food and beverage into the theater. All kinds of great ideas. I did want to give Dr. Emerson a moment here to give us an update as well, because I know that for a while now, we have been working to both reestablish in some cases and establish in others meaningful relationships with local Native communities. She's been spearheading a lot of that work with others and wanted to have her give an update on a couple of.
Should I stop on here?
Oh, come on up. Why not?
Yeah,
And here, you can take the microphone
of
too.
course. Hey. All right, good afternoon, everyone. So as Dr. Eldridge mentioned, that yes, almost since the day I landed here at College of Marin, I've been really interested and working towards reestablishing and reconnecting our relationship with our Native American communities and Indigenous communities, as you know, the land that we are on is the unceded territory of the Coast Miwok people. And part of that journey in engaging the communities was the recognition that we don't have a land acknowledgement statement. And I just want to say that at this point is really intentional, because we wanted that land acknowledgement statement to be more than something aspirational, more than something that is just that you can just get off of the website. We wanted our land acknowledgement to be really tied to the activities that we have engaged in as a college in relationship and collaboration with the Native American communities that we serve. So this has been an amazing time for us, because with this building, as all of this was coming aboard, we've had a Native American sculptor come to us and gift us with an 8,000-pound granite sculpture that is going out in front of this building down on the Creekside Plaza. And that sculpture is called Burning Flame. And so this is a sculpture done by Harkin Lucero. He is Navajo. As part of his process here, he has requested that we engage the Coast Miwok people to provide a blessing, as this is the unceded territory. So on March 11th, we will do the dedication for the sculpture. We will also have the Tribal Council of Grayton, who represents the federally recognized Coast Miwok people. They will be here as well. This will be part of the learning landscapes as identified through some of our centennial activities. In addition to that, we will also be working on the Coast Miwok Garden, which is designed to really plant indigenous plants that are really useful to the Coast Miwok people. Again, another way that the College of Marin is doing more than just being aspirational in their relationship and recognition and respect for the peoples whose land we are currently on. It is really that we are being stewards as well in their honor and everything that they have provided for us, so that we can live and work here. So that is happening. Again, March 11th will be the dedication ceremony for Burning Flame, the gift from Harkin Lucero, who is a Native American artist. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And the powwow. So we have also built relationships with the Marin American Indian Alliance. Last year, we held their 3rd annual powwow here, and they absolutely loved it. So we will be doing that again. Matter of fact, we have become their unofficial home for their powwow. They really appreciate it, because for the first time since they've been doing their powwows, they get to have it in what they refer to as a sacred space. And that sacred space is in the shadow of Mount Tam, which obviously here we are, we get to do that for them. So the powwow will be here at the College of Marin on Sunday, March 22nd. It happens across the street at the Diamond Athletic Complex. The march in starts at noon. However, prior to noon, there will be a lot of dancing and a lot of singing as they bring up the energy, as that is part of the blessing of starting the event as well. So the powwow is open to the public. This will be the 4th annual, and we hope to continue to do this year after year after year, again, solidifying our relationship with the Native American communities that we also serve. Okay, thank you.
Great. Any questions?
11.
What time? Noon on the 11th. All right. Okay. Any other things that anyone would like to talk about today? Any announcements that people have, or, movie reviews, anything at all that you want to discuss in the last couple of minutes before we wrap up and get on with our day? Yes?
I also want to say thank you all to the faculty and to the staff who are helping us pilot a GE pattern of classes at the IVC campus. We do recognize that there's been a lot of talk about how do we get more students involved on the campus. And one of the things that we did look at is making sure that students can engage their Cal GETC option here, not only at Kentfield, but at the IVC campus as well. So starting fall 2026, we will be piloting a GE pattern of classes available for students at IVC. We are hoping that this will engage the needs of not only College of Marin students, but also some of our future students who are currently in high school, so that they have an opportunity to get those classes on their transcripts so that they then can also have that step forward on their academic success plan. Okay.
All right. And I'm feeling along with Joanna Pinkney. Now that I recall this, I believe she's correct. The chairs that were reupholstered were in the Little Fork Recital Hall, which is PA 072, which is a fun little space in the lower level. But the James Dunn Theater seats were cleaned, and I think that was about a decade ago. So Vivian, thank you for bringing this up, because they need to move more quickly than not. So we'll get the bleachers redone, and everyone will have a higher expectation for seating. At which point we're going to need to move quickly with that. So we'll have to look into that sooner rather than later. Yes.
The one other event is on March 13th is Classified Professional Learning Day, which will happen in this room and in this building. So,
yes, absolutely. And thank you for that. And thank you to you, Alyssa and Stacy, for staffing up and creating a really cool space down in the Professional Learning and Development Center downstairs. I stopped in on Friday with our Classified Leadership Institute in the workshop space there, doing some great things. And that is one of the fun things about the College of Marin, is that in addition to the 2 flex weeks, we have days dedicated to staff development. We have a variety of resources ongoing. I think just about every one of our contracts has provisions in it for professional learning and travel and other things. So there's always more that we can do. But yes, great that we'll be able to gather not only this Friday and celebrate our employees, but next Friday and help make sure that our classified staff have the learning and development they need to be successful. So. All right. Of course, at any time, if anyone comes up with a question or needs anything, don't hesitate to reach out to my office. We may not have an answer, but we can get you in touch with who you need to ask that question to, and we will make sure that that happens. Thank you for coming out today, online and in person. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. We do have some snacks over here if you would like to take them with you. Welcome again to our March 2nd club, our pretty folks. And yes, thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon.